super fashion conscious, if as a general statement, maybe not all of them, but would someone who is ultra rich, wealthy, would they have water stains around the bottom of their shoes? This to me suggests that it's the kind of shoe that she wears a lot and she wears out in the rain.
I feel like Agatha might have done this murder at this point.
Well, could be. Um, but the
Because
question, that's not what we're trying to say. What I'm trying to get you to say is like she's dressed to look a certain way, but
but
I
is
mean,
she
we don't know.
actually
We don't
rich?
know, but it's there's some questions is what we're trying to say.
Yeah. Because like in my opinion, I don't think a rich person would um I feel like if the shoes were that expensive, the rich person would care, and also would dress to impress in a way.
Well,
Her
you're
suit's
right. You're
wrinkly.
right. I mean, these are just general statements. Like, not every wealthy person is this way. Not every,
Yeah.
you know,
Adam
some
Sandler's a, a great example of that. He loves
right.
to be cozy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So add that, or make sure you've got something like that into your sentence. Uh, uh, the next thing we want to talk about is her physical characteristics. Is she big? Is she small?
She's short. She's 4'11".
So we would assume she's small in stature. Uh, she's also dyed her hair. Like, her hair is not naturally red. There are natural redheads. She is not. You could say she's very image conscious because of how she does dress impeccably, dyes her hair red.
She's very what? What was the word?
Image conscious, you could say.
She seems very image conscious. Right, here's what I have written so far.
Do you think you have 25 words?
I think I have more than
I
25
think you
words.
do. Sure. Okay. All right, so what we're learning from the way your instructor graded the most recent assignment is that she's very, you got to make sure it's typed correctly. No errors, things like that. Agatha seems rich because her suit is made from Gucci and Gucci's an expensive brand, while she seems wealthy. Now notice your inconsistency. You said rich and then wealthy. We got to pick one.
Let's do rich.
She isn't wearing the latest style for that suit. Her shoes have water, and maybe say, and her shoes have water stains. You might want to say why that matters. Um, she's not a registered. So like what you're missing here is like, why does it matter that she doesn't have water stains? Why does it matter that she's not a natural redhead? Why does it matter that she's 4'11"? Like, you're not giving like well, that means she's small and she's short in stature. She's small. She's petite. She's something like that. Not a natural redhead. Maybe she is concerned about how she looks. Uh, so
Okay.
I'm asking you to kind of revise this. So let me drop this in the chat. Basically, let me put where I want you to. Uh, I want something there about the water scenes. Like, why does that matter? Something about not being a natural redhead, being 4'11". That maybe that she is very image conscious could come right here. Um, I don't know.
All right.
We'll just let me put that back in the chat for you to take another look at.
what should I mention about like with the redhead? Like, why was she hiding her real hair color or something?
Right, you can maybe just make a comment that she's hiding her real hair color. Um,
All right, does this look a little bit better?
take a look here. Yes, this looks it's a lot better. I'm actually I'm making you go kind of above and beyond telling what they actually want here, but this is good because she seems rich, comma. She isn't wearing the latest style for that suit, and her shoes have water stains, which is strange because if she is rich, she could have bought a new pair of the same type of shoes. She seems very image conscious. She is not a natural redhead and is hiding and is hiding her real hair color. All right, that's good. All right. We've kind of just meant we've kind of just answered number two in one way. What is a generalization? We're kind of making those generalizations here by like what a rich person would or would not wear. Um, we're also making a generalization here in the middle paragraph about um, a large man assaulting a another person, or like you just said, bright orange shirt, doubts must be in a gang. Those are all generalizations. So let's start with like what is a generalization? Maybe give me one sentence about what a generalization is.
I just need a reminder about what a generalization is again.
Go ahead, go out to the internet if you're not sure and see if you can make some sense of that.
All right. Okay, a general statement or concept obtained by inference from specific cases. Okay.
So you're applying something to everything that may or may not be true.
Oh, so like how Agatha said that what the man who was murdering the victim was wearing an orange shirt, so she assumed that he was in this gang that only wears orange shirts.
Yes, that's a generalization. That's a good one. I would include that as one of your examples. So put that in there.
I am
So
so happy.
start by giving me a generalization, and then they're asking for more than one, so we're going to give them more than one, but that can be the first one. You want to give the generalization, then explain why it's a generalization.
Yeah. Okay? I wrote about the orange shirt, but before I send you what I wrote, I want to see if there's any other generalizations in the story.
Yeah, there's a number of them. I mean, one is like all the stuff we were talking about with her, whether she's rich or not rich. That's another one. Um, Here's one that he was found lying in a puddle, the only puddle in the entire alley. I mean, it could be that it was from that puddle, or it could be that,
And not to mention Anna's shoes had a puddle stains,
yes,
so she could have done the murder.
sure.
I'm just saying because
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
puddle stained shoes. I'm off topic. I'll come back to it later. Can I talk about the heights because I guess the height's important.
Sure. I mean, you could, the generalization is that a smaller person couldn't attack someone else, or it has to be the larger person that did that. The man who assaulted the man must have been 6'5" because he's the bigger person. I mean, that's not always true.
Yeah, sometimes women can get away with murder.
Well, you said that, not me.
I'm just saying I've seen true
Yeah.
crime documentaries.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's there. Um, hmm. I'll mention the puddle and the shoes because
Okay.
there we go. It says here that the victim has been poisoned through a scratch on his stomach. Hmm. I mean, I want to
I
think
think
that's
I think
important.
yeah, I mean, I think two is good. I mean, that's better than one. I would make sure you've defined what a generalization is.
Oh, yeah, that
Uh
too. I'll write
so
about
yeah,
that.
yeah, go ahead and add that sentence in. So what you're missing here is that why? Why is this a generalization? And then again, the why. Like, you really want to explain. It's one more sentence in each case.
All right, I just wrote down the meaning of that
That sounds very textbooky, but we'll be okay with that.
from Google. Okay, wait,
Yeah,
hold on. So
I
you want me
I
to
would,
explain about the puddles and why there were puddle
and
stains
the
on her
shirt and
shoes?
the shirt. No, no, not why, but I want you to explain why it's a generalization. Like, is it true that everyone who wears an orange shirt is a member of the Stouts?
No.
Okay, so that's what you're trying to say. It could be true, but you could also give an example. You could say he might have just been wearing a orange shirt that day. Maybe it was Halloween season.
Yeah. All right. Now for the puddle in wait, hold on. It says that her suit was wrinkled, right? It says was
Yeah,
it wrinkled?
you're not playing detective. What you're
I
doing
am
is
playing
you're
detective.
uh uh
I think for the alley, I think the reason why there was a puddle there, it could have been maybe a puddle from like a drain pipe. It could be maybe a puddle of blood or just a random splotch of water. Maybe it rained that day. I don't know.
You're
Like something
yeah,
like
exactly. Exactly. That's what.
so should I like write maybe the puddle came from a drain pipe or it rained that day,
Sure,
like
just
that?
something else. Like, you're just saying that you just have to say like not all, like there could be another reason that the victim, um, there could be another like she could have walked through a different puddle. Uh, she could have the shoes could just be old, you know.
All right, here's what I wrote.
This is where WEAR might not have been in the stouts, comma, just wanted to wear orange. There's only one puddle in the alley. Lying in comma, and Agatha has puddle stains on her shoes. Maybe the puddle came from a drain pipe, or it rained that day, and Agatha's shoes could have been worn out. And that's why she had stains on them. Okay. One of the things your instructor probably will complain about, and I did notice it here, is a little bit of a run-on sentence. I don't care that much because I don't think that's the emphasis here, but your teacher might. Um, but that we'll just wait and see. It's not holding us back from doing this. So let's go to number 4 first. I think this is what you were trying to do there. Do you believe Agatha is telling the truth? Why or not? So the truth is, what her truth is that uh, he reported that the victim, Mr. Morris Moocher, was assaulted by a man who was 6 feet 5 inches tall. So do you believe that Agatha is telling the truth or not?
No, I don't.
Okay, so now so you want to put that in sentence. No, I don't believe Agatha is telling the truth, and this is why.
Now I can play detective in this scenario.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that could be like the only puddle in an alley. I just don't.
Well, the police don't have any reason to lie. Um,
That's true, but
I mean,
sometimes I've walked through an alley. It's dirty there. There's multiple puddles.
okay, good enough.
I mean, there are puddles in Europe from the alleys that I've walked in. I don't know, but well, I'm gonna pull up the text on my screen. Let's see. Hmm. All right. I did mention the fact that her suit is wrinkled because I think Agatha tried to clean up something with her suit,
Okay.
and that's why it's wrinkled. So here's what I've written so far. I know I need more details.
What I'm wondering is there more here that we didn't read? Um,
I feel like her story is just she's cutting out something.
well, the last question says, okay, Watson, I guess they were talking to you. What do you think really happened? Okay, so that actually we got to make sure. Um, all right, yeah. So that leads to number five. I see. I see that. No comma, no comma. I don't believe Agatha's telling the truth. That's good because there are puddle stains on her shoes and her suit is wrinkled. I think that Agatha tried to clean up something in the alley. That's why her suit is wrinkled. And she stepped in the water, in the puddle. You have to explain why there's water stains on her shoes.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think really happened? So that's a little bit different than what we just but like what do you think really happened? Did Agatha kill the man? Did she get help? Did he kill her and she's covering it up? What do you think happened? Or other, play detective here.
I think she's just cutting out parts of the story.
Okay, so maybe start with that, but you do want to add in kind of what you think those parts of the story are.
I wonder why was she out so late at night? Like
There's a
technically
good
it's not
question.
late, but what was she doing outside near an alley?
There's a good, that's good to write down and start with.
I'm just asking so many questions at this point. Wait. Um, why would she automatically assume that someone would be in a gang?
Well, it could
And
be to cover up. It's easy to point the
yeah,
finger at someone else. Oh, they must be them. They're in a gang. That's a generalization. That's what people believe.
let's see, looking at the text. Hmm. It also says here, when the murderer ran away, Agatha left the alley and called the police. What was she doing in the alley in the first place? That adds to my question.
Where are you reading that part?
It
Oh,
says
there it
it
is.
in
Left, there it is. Yeah, I see.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I
Okay.
was suspicious. This is just a game of Clue for me. I really need to play that game again. Anyway, why? don't know what else to write. I just it makes me think that Agatha is the murdered this man because I don't the story with someone the alleged man being in the Stouts doesn't add up because I don't know.
Well,
Hmm.
when you feel like you've got enough, put something down, and I'll look at it and help you. I'll let you know
All right.
if I think more is
I'll send
needed.
you what I've written so far and you can check it out in the chat.
I think Agatha is cutting out parts of her story. What was she doing outside an alley at 10 p.m.? I think she is lying about the murder, comma, uh, murderer being a gang member. And why did she step out of the alley to call the police? It makes me think that Agatha murdered this man. Okay. All right. And plenty of words there. 54. Great. All right. So last thing here is infer and conclude. So go ahead and look up a definition of infer.
Infer, okay. It says,
Go ahead and type it in the chat, the definition of infer.
I just sent it then the definition in the chat.
So we want to add the word infer there. We want to say infer. Infer means to deduce or conclude from evidence and reasoning rather than from explicit statements. So we don't want to use the word conclude. So infer means to, let's say, determine an outcome from evidence and reasoning rather than from explicit statements. Now look at the word conclude. What does conclude mean? Conclude means dot, dot,
To
dot.
like
Go ahead and
finish.
look. Well, why
I
don't
mean,
you,
technically.
let's let Webster or a Google dictionary be the better option for this. I go ahead and look that up.
Alright, just sent a definition.
Conclude means to bring something to an end. All right. So I guess this is where you're going to answer. Do they mean the same thing?
No.
No. So say no, they do not mean the same thing. And maybe try to explain the difference.
Infer just means to basically like find more evidence in a way.
Well, you're using evidence. You're using evidence to draw a conclusion. Conclude means that something is over.
All right, I just typed take in chat again.
Okay, good. Okay, and you reached your 25 words on that. So this is, to me, this is totally done. Totally, completely done here. All right, let me, um, only thing, the part two, yeah, I guess you don't have a word count on that. Sometimes they they do that. Okay, let's put this in here. So this was lecture notes 5. Um, let's go take a look and see what the next thing is here. This so let's go to course dashboard. All right, let me share screen here. Too many buttons to click. Okay. All right. Fact and opinion essay. Okay. For this lesson, you are going to write a timed essay, read before you begin. We're not going to do that, but let's look at the topics here. Select one of the following listed below. Select only one. Set a timer for 30 minutes. Submit your essay using the following form. All right, let's look at these. Let me open up a Word document. Let's see if anything stands out to you. Let me go. All right. Do you agree? Oh, they're all do you agree or disagree? Okay. So you want to pick the one that you have the strongest emotions, opinions about. So schools should let students determine their own educational needs and not have required courses. So like on a scale of like 1 to 10, do you feel strongly or not strongly about this one?
I mean, I would give myself a 5 because some schools already do that.
All right. How about practice makes perfect?
Mm, hmm. Maybe like a 7.
Okay. The most important part of any task is planning.
Oh yeah, this is something I agree with because I have to always make a plan. So I'd give it a 9.
Okay. That doesn't mean you're going to write on it. It just means that
Yeah.
you have a strong opinion about it. The more money a person makes, the better his or her chance in life. Does
Mm,
money equal better chance or success
yeah, I
in
would say
life?
that money helps you provide for your life, so I would give it an 8.
Okay. We learn from our failures, more from our failures than from our successes.
Oh, a solid 10. That's a solid 10.
Okay. Now, if you were to choose to write about this one, you would have to give an example of failures that you learned from, a couple of failures. Are you willing to do that?
They were like most of the time my failures were usually failures and mistakes are the same thing,
Yes.
but
But
yeah.
are you comfortable writing about your failures?
Yeah, some of them are really funny failures, I would say. But I think the biggest one I learned from is like it's okay to make mistakes because as a kid, I thought I couldn't have made mistakes. I thought I had to be perfect, basically.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have to give examples. Like
yeah.
what you said is a general statement. You have to be willing to say, this time I was skating and I fell down and I cut my leg and I was bleeding all over and I didn't
One
want to get back
time,
on the ice. Like that's just like something like that.
One
You
time
have
when
to
I
be,
was skating, they messed up my music for a show skate, and um, I had to tell the people that it was wrong. I was nervous because everyone was watching me, so I
but
did
is that,
fall.
but is that your failure? The music being played, was that your failure?
No. So let me
No.
think. One time, let me think. I'm trying to
And it
think of
doesn't have
some.
to be skating. It could be, the time you went to summer camp and you couldn't climb over the wall or, you,
Uh, I once went to a hotel with my parents, and you know how they have those complimentary snacks that you have to pay for? I grabbed one to show my parents like what happened, and I didn't know that we were gonna get paid for it, so I grabbed it by accident because I didn't know. I was assuming that we wouldn't get charged because, and my dad freaked out, so I had to put it back. And
but is that a
apparently,
failure? A failure is like often it's competition driven. I tried to jump over the river and I fell in the water.
I think one of the
I
failures I have
trained
to this day is like trying to get a freaking jump. It's because it's a hard jump and stuff, and I keep trying. I've been doing it for 6 months and I still can't get it. So I
okay.
get so I
So
fall, obviously.
what I'm hearing is like you're not giving me a lot of failures. Like you're giving me a lot of situations. Maybe we can move that into one of these other ones. Like the most important part of any task is the planning. Like you mentioned the music being wrong in
Yeah.
your so when you're going to do a performance, do you expect certain music to be played? You plan for that, and um, you
Yeah.
had a plan. You went over and fixed it.
Yeah. We
When
have
you
these
work on a
things
new,
called tags, and our coaches hold on to them because they play our music. And they messed up my music even though it was on this computer. So my coach gave me her tag, well, my tag actually. So I inserted it into the music box thing at her skating rink. So I got my actual music. So I was able to play basically. She was like, give me your tag because in case something happens, we can fix it. So that's why.
so that would be um, that would possibly be a good thing to put here.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect fit, but it does talk about the planning there. So um, we're not gonna we're not going to be able to finish this today, and but we should be sure that we're like which ones are we not going to do. Do you agree that this one is out, or do you have second opinion on schools should let students determine their own educational needs, not have required courses?
I'll leave that. Actually, no, let me think about it. Yeah, I agree because there are a lot of courses that I think kids will be more interested in than the generic courses we have, you know?
Okay,
Because,
do you feel like you could write on this for not 30 minutes, but could you write on it for 10 minutes? Could you write on it for, could you really write on it for that much time? Because so far
to
I've
be
noticed you
honest,
can write,
no.
yeah, I've
I
noticed you could
think
write for about 2 or 3
practice,
minutes and you run out of words, which is okay. Um,
yeah.
Now,
I think
practice
practice
makes
makes
perfect.
perfect. Yeah, that one makes more sense because for skating, you have to like, you do the same thing over and over again until it clicks in your brain and you actually get it right. So that's what I would think would be perfect.
So
Because
I'll argue that practice makes permanent.
practice
What
makes
do you,
permanent.
yes, you can practice the wrong thing and it becomes permanent.
Yeah, that's true.
So perfect, if you are practicing the right thing, sure, it could become permanent. Which could be perfect, could also be not. I mean, based on your numbering, it to me it seems like this is the right one to talk about. Uh, but you said, okay, I really want to, you like the practice makes perfect. What about this whole thing with money? Do you want to consider that? That's kind of in a completely other direction. Is
Maybe
that something? Okay.
because with money, money is the thing that can help you afford what you need in life. And if a person that has like a really well job because like they make good money, it's gonna better their chances, obviously, yeah, to provide more. Like if they get a really good well-paying job, for example, this is like let's say they're a surgeon maybe. They get paid well and they'll be able to provide for their family and stuff.
It also
Does that
puts,
make sense?
yeah, it also puts more pressure on them though. I mean, they have to
It
go in and
does.
perform at that high level. Um, the job has its own pressures, so that's the other side of it as well. But you can agree with that. I mean, yeah, well, let's just say you're a social media star. You have all
Okay.
this pressure to always, you're in front of the media, the spotlight all the time. But you're making a lot of
Paparazzi.
money. Yeah. So um, it could be. There's not a right or wrong here. We're just trying to figure out which one you can write on. Which one can you for sure write on? Um, we have to be careful though not to overlap. Like we if we're going to talk about our failures and successes, we have to actually talk about failures. If we're going to choose planning and a task, we have to actually talk about a task, and you have to talk about enough detail in the task. So, um,
Yeah.
any other ones standing out to you?
No. Yeah, I'll either have to write about practice makes perfect or the one with the money. It's one of the
Okay.
two that I just
I'm
don't
I'm
know.
going to suggest that this one is the better one for you to do, uh, just based
Yeah.
on what you've told me so far. I don't think you know enough in life to know whether money would actually make you happy, better in life. Um, there's a lot of things that come with it, but you've definitely had a lot of experience in this area. So for tomorrow, um, if you want, we don't have to. We could start on this. We can also go to physical science tomorrow and do some of both. Um, if we're going to choose this one, I'm going to make you write for like 5 minutes tomorrow, and then uh, the that would be the plan. Maybe make an outline and then have you write it up. So but you're not going to write for 30 minutes, but we'll uh, we'll see. Okay, let's stop here for today.